Hello, hello. Welcome to another week, another episode. Shay over there is too excited. I don't even want to introduce him and say hi. But yeah, how are you doing, bro? How are you doing? Tell us.
Magnificent, magnificent. Like, you know, I haven't had a weekend like this in quite some weeks now. Like, I'm rocking my jalamia today in honor of my Islamic brother Amad Diallo.
Okay, we'll
Because
get to that. We'll get to
it
that
we'll get to it, but
at
I
some
just
point.
that's why I'm in this. Even in the winter, have to represent.
No wahala.
But yeah, like interesting episode for you guys today. We have a special guest that will bring on as the episode continues. So yeah, let's not spoil the surprise yet. Um,
Start off with our usual NFL. Let's see how the week was.
yes, there. Yeah, started off slow. Rams played out a 12-6 win against the San Francisco 49ers. Chiefs beat the Browns 21-7. Bengals beat the Titans 37-27. Commanders survived the late resurgence against the Saints to win 2019. Ravens beat the Giants 35-14, their first game after the bye. Um, Cowboys beat the Panthers 30-14. Aaron Rodgers and his Jets beat the Jaguars 32-25. Dolphins lost 12-20 against the Houston Texans. The Colts lost against the Broncos in embarrassing fashion 13-31. The Bills beat the Lions, snapping their 11-game winning streak 48-42. The Steelers lost to Yimika's Eagles 13-27. Patriots lost to the Cardinals 17-30. The Bucks blew out the Chargers 40-17. Packers beat the Seahawks 30-13 on Sunday Night Football. And yeah, like all in all, pretty packed week of football, and yeah, some interesting results along the way that we'll get into as the show continues. I think before we get into the main results, I want to sort of bring up something that struck me as weird. So on Thursday, Devondre Campbell walked out on his team in the 49ers 6-12 loss against the LA Rams. Like it's I thought I was going to ask Imika this on the show. Like I don't think I've ever seen this happen. Like what do you think, Imika?
I think what's his name? AJ Brown did it. Not AJ Brown.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
AB.
Yeah, Antonio Brown did it
AB, yeah, Antonio
as a
Brown.
book. But yeah, it definitely doesn't have that status or that level of game changerness for it to happen. So there are a lot of people talking about how this could be super detrimental to his overall career, seeing him as like a quitter and
Yeah,
obviously like a tough time for the team. The 49ers
who's
came
going to
into
sign him
this
after this?
highly touted, highly favored. Their quarterback hasn't really played. They've had a lot of injuries. So yeah, it's just not a good look. I mean, to be honest, I didn't really know this guy before this big flare out. So I truly believe that he will probably struggle to find another role
I mean,
down the
he
road.
he, he only joined the Niners cause Dre Greenlaw um suffered an Achilles injury before the Super Bowl, like just before the Super Bowl, and Greenlaw has returned to the team and started ahead of him in that game. And I don't know, I guess he didn't like that or something. I don't know. It's just for
So it's just
all
not
the
the
young
case.
people out there, please, like this is a very bad example to follow. Do not work out on your team, like even if it's not in sports, like if just in any professional setting, like just come on, like the least you can do is be professional and just see out the game. Why would you just quit on your team? Like it's just anyway. I just thought to um point that out before getting into main action for the week. Yeah, so the Bills beat the Lions 48-42. Yimika, did you catch any of the game? Did you catch any parts of the game?
Yeah, the tail end. I mean, again, I kind of was hoping that the Lions could come back just for the drama of it. Obviously, I do want. I'm grateful that the Lions lost because it helps my egos in terms of getting that by.
Number one seed.
But
Okay.
yeah, there was definitely a shootout. Five touchdowns from Golf. Um, Josh Allen was just doing his usual thing, running. Like he even had one play that got called back where it was a chest pass that he did.
Yeah.
Like ultimately, it was like by the score lines you can tell it was a shootout, which was definitely fun to see. Probably poor defense from both sides of teams, but yeah, definitely dealing with two high caliber offenses, and they showcase their qualities, even though the Bills managed to hold on.
Yeah, you highlighted something that I've mentioned before, which is the injuries that the Lions have in defense. Like, I think the Lions have 18 players on injured reserve, and of the 18, 13 of them are defensive players. Like, next man up, next man up. Like, at some point, at some point, it's going to catch up to you. And you could see that Dan Campbell wasn't very confident in his defense when he made the decision to try the onside kick in the fourth quarter with like 12 minutes left on the clock. Like, I felt it was too early, but I I believe he only made that decision because he thought, okay, like it's a risk worth taking. Like if we get the ball again on offense instead of having our defense come out, but I don't know, it backfired. They got first and goal from the five, like as a result of that onside kick, and just gave the momentum they had gained back to the Bills, and yeah, it was just a
Yeah, I
hill
think
too
that's
high to
definitely
climb.
not. I mean, with the new format of kickoff, like onside kicks are a lot less. They're a lot less valuable, if that makes sense. Like your ability to actually get the ball back is a lot
I think you
harder.
have like a 3% chance statistically or something of
So,
recovering an
I mean,
onside kick.
before, like you had the ability to, like fake a kickoff, but actually do it onside. Like there were a lot more tricky things that you could do.
Yeah,
Now you
like
have to
now
do
you have to
skill
declare it.
tests. Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's less useful. It's only if like you literally have no other way to get the ball back in terms of time. So, but yeah, it was down to their defense, and defense wins all championship. So we'll see what the Lions have to do down the road for the playoffs.
yeah. Um. Uh. So Patrick Mahomes didn't finish the game against the Browns yesterday. He went off with an ankle injury, and yeah, the past few games, that man has literally been running for his life because of how bad the Chiefs' offensive line has been playing. Like, yes, like they have like a lot of like personnel deficiencies on their O line, but I mean, Mahomes being Mahomes keeps making the plays, keeps finding a way to get it done, but he's taking too many hits. He's facing a lot of pressure in the pocket, outside the pocket, and yeah, he was diagnosed with a mild high ankle sprain, and his status has been declared as week to week. What do you think that means for the Chiefs, Inka?
I mean, they can afford for him to take off a couple of games, and it doesn't mean like they're. I mean, if they lose one, they can
I
lose
mean,
two games
they
and
have the
still
Bills
potential.
chasing them.
Yeah, but I'm still saying like the Bills are what 2.5 games behind them,
Okay,
so they technically can have him sit out for a game, and if they need him to sit out for another game and play maybe later in the game, like they can do that. So I don't see it as a huge problem. I know you were mentioning that it's almost like, and even if they need to play. Um, like they don't get it by. Like they can still play through all the playoffs. Like a healthy Mahomes is more important than getting the number one seed. That's the point I'm just trying to make.
Okay, fair enough. Um, Before we leave the NFL, I want to know the answer to these three questions for um from you. What's the scariest team in the NFC, scariest team in the AFC, and your overall scariest team in the NFL from what
Um,
you've seen so far and like just current status, basically.
I mean, the Lions are still pretty scary for me in the NFC. They have the ability to put up like a lot of points, which is what they've done consistently throughout the year. So if the whoever their opponents, and I would typically say my Eagles, but I'm being realistic here. Like, um, we haven't been able to score like a lot, so they are. I would still put them as number one in the NFC. In the AFC, I would definitely say the Ravens on their day. The Ravens on their day have like the ability to um yeah, they have the ability to, with Lamar as their quarterback, to do just spectacular things. Overall, I'll definitely say the Chiefs because they are like they're the most Super Bowl drilled and they know how to win. I mean, I've seen the statistics where like all the teams that have not scored 30 points this season, every other team that was in this bracket has like less than 3 wins, whereas the Chief has have the most wins in the whole of the NFL. So it's like they know how to they understand what it takes to win, whether it's their special teams, their defense, offense coming alive. It's like they know how to share the love. And football oftentimes isn't that sport where every member of the team sort of contributes, but I think the Chiefs they know how to do that pretty well. Um, yeah, my Eagles they're looking good. They're tracking in the right direction, but I still think their pass game is something that needs consistency. And last game, obviously, like they did well. Hurts had like was like 20 of
290.
25. Yeah, 290 yards. He had like two touchdowns and one rushing touchdown. One to Devontae, one to AJ Brown. AJ Brown had a big game, 130 yards or so.
Mm,
So it was just clearly a sign that all the issues that we've been hearing about the Eagles not having harmony in the locker room was all just noise. Because once AJ Brown scored his touchdown, he went to go and dance with Jalen Hurts. And when Jalen Hurts did his press conference, the first thing he said is like, "This is what you guys wanted, huh?" So the point is, what we've been trying to do is figure out ways to win, and that's what we did in that game. But
yeah.
um, you need to have that versatility of pass, run, and also your D. And we're tracking upwards, but again, why I picked the Lions is because they've consistently had that. Maybe yeah, their defense to start was ridiculous. Maybe it's dipping a little bit now, like you said, because of the injuries, but they've been the complete team for much of the year. So you're hoping that they can carry that into the playoffs. If not, you have the Eagles right behind on their heel, ready to take that number one seat.
No problem. I'm just going to do my red flag real quick, real quick, real quick. I'm not going to take too much time. Um, for me in the NFC, I get what you're saying about the Lions. I get it, but bruh, those injuries. If like they had
Well,
three
call
more
your
guys,
team though.
they had three more guys go down yesterday, right? So that's another three guys to add to their already 18, I mean 16, 18 man long injury reserve, right? So for me, I'm picking the Eagles out of the NFC as my scariest team because like in terms of just sheer physicality, I don't like nobody can out physical the Eagles in the NFC for me. Like, yes, the Lions explosive offense, love it, but just from what I've seen so far and considering everything, I pick the Eagles. And then in the AFC, yeah, I like what you said about the Ravens with Lamar, but as I've said multiple times on the show, the Ravens are they are their own biggest enemy, right? Like their defensive secondary seem to have fixed up, like they seem to have fixed up like for a couple of games, but yeah, you can still see the signs of shakiness. So I'm going with the Bills out of the AFC as the scariest team, and you picked the Chiefs overall. Yes, they know how to win all of that. Mahomes, Kelsey, never betting against those guys. But with this Mahomes ankle injury, will he be as mobile come playoff time? I think I think it's going to be big factor that will count against them if this ankle problem persists. And I say that because just off yesterday alone, like those explosive plays for the Chiefs are not connecting. Like they are not connecting the way like the I'm used to seeing them connect. And yes, I know, yes, playoffs like fresh slates, clean, like everybody is starting from a level playing field, right? And is what you do on the day, right? One game, win or lose, right? I get, but I'm just going to stick with the Bills, and that's simply because like this is not the first year Josh Allen has been playing to this level, but this year he's not turning the ball over. That's the difference for me. So that's why I'm going with the Bills. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So
I mean, the Bills are
I
a good
think
shout.
that's a good place to end our NFL segment for today and just move on quickly to the Heisman conversation. So yes, a lot of debates on social media, in the mainstream media about who should win the Heisman. And on Saturday, we had the official announcement of the Heisman winner 2024. And yes, congratulations, Travis Hunter, Heisman Trophy winner 2024. Um, yeah, Yimika has a lot of thoughts that I'm sure if we give him if we give him the opportunity, he can probably speak for like an hour telling you 1,000 reasons why Travis Hunter shouldn't have won. But yeah, like Travis Hunter won it. He deserved to win it, in my opinion, because I've not seen anyone do what he did this year. Both sides of the ball, you know, yes, they say he was not the best at it, but I still felt on both sides of the ball he was able to execute and play at a high enough level, which has never been done before. And just for that alone, I felt, yeah, he should win it. But Yimika, I just yield to you real quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's already in the past, realistically. I said to Shea that I think this is the peak of his career because as a in the NFL, he's going to either be a wide receiver or cornerback. All these rumors of him running both sides of the ball is not going to happen in a grown man's league, especially coming from the Big 12.
Mm,
Um, so we'll see because I don't think he's the best receiver in college this year or is on the level of top level receivers that come out of college. And I mean, he might be a good corner, but at the same time, I don't know if he's going to be, someone who is there is Rivers type of level of greatness. And so this is his height. I mean, and when I made that statement, I didn't make it out of malice. Like someone like Reggie Bush, the peak of his career was in college. Someone like Ricky Williams, his peak of his career was in college. Someone like even Marcus Mariota that I was telling you about, his peak was in college. He didn't translate all that greatness into the NFL. There are people who get drafted in what's his name, Brock Purdy. He got drafted as Mr. the last draft pick.
Mr.
He
Relevant, yeah.
he actually had a better career in the NFL than he did have in college. So it is not out of malicious. It's just to say that I don't see him as an elite wide receiver or an elite cornerback. I see him as a very decent no, a very decent cornerback, and is an average wide receiver. Someone who could be a second or third string wide receiver, not a true number one. But yeah, happy for him to prove me wrong, and happy
Yeah.
for you to come on the show and tell me that I was wrong. So
Oh, because you were. But yeah, I mean, fair enough, right? Everyone is entitled to their opinions, and yeah, um, there's no need to debate it too much. I mean, like Chuck Bednarik Award for Best Defensive Player, Letnikov Award Top Receiver, Water Account Player of the Year, AP National College Player of the Year, right? And ultimately won the Heisman. So if that's his peak, he will have lived a full life. I mean, he's
yeah,
just
and
one,
it's
a
good.
junior in college. Like
It's good for him.
when he
I'm
goes
happy
into the
for him.
league, he has a
And
lot of time to develop, in my opinion, right? And show himself, prove people wrong yet again. Because I mean, when he, he was a 5-star recruit out of high school, and he committed to what is it, FSU, and he flipped and went to Jackson State to play for Deion Sanders, and everybody was like, "What's this guy doing?" Blah blah blah. Like everybody thought he was making a very foolish decision, and that quote unquote foolish decision has ultimately like led to him winning the Heisman this year. So keep doubting, keep doubting.
nobody's doubting him, but it's fine. It's fine.
I'm not referring to you directly. I'm just saying like he has a lot of doubters, and ultimately his talking will be done on the field. So yeah. Um, just before we move on from um Travis Hunter, like just he's yes, so Travis Hunter is engaged to his high school sweetheart Liana, and she has come under fire recently for like a couple of videos that have gone viral, like her not standing up when he was awarded the Heisman, and some other comments from podcast appearances, like where she said she where she said he wasn't initially her type and had to win her over, blah blah blah. So I don't know. Yimika, do you have any thoughts you want to just
Yeah, no,
begin
I
with?
was just echoing some of the stuff that Cam Newton mentioned, and he talked about how her understanding that in the grand scheme of life, like she's only known or relevant because she's dating Travis Hunter. So
Mm-hmm.
you just need to align towards that and be his number one cheerleader, not necessarily feel like you are that girl. Like there are people who are that girl because they are doing things in their life, not attached to other people who are doing things in their life. So yeah, it's just know your role and play your role is the high level take on that. Yeah, but like you said, she's probably new to the media and attention and things like that. So just need a little bit more coaching and a little bit more awareness of the situation. And usually he seems like a very well grounded person. So I anticipate him getting a good agent who also, you know, coach the whole package, him,
Yeah.
her, family, and everything else, so that they're projecting like a good image for him. So yeah, the NFL is very image driven. So yeah, she just needs to be aware of that.
Fair enough. For me, like I don't really like the abuse she's getting and everything. Like I think it's unnecessary, and I don't know. It's just I mean,
But
people have even
that's
gone as
part
far
of.
as going to dig up like her past, saying like I mean, some guy brought out something saying like she had OnlyFans back in 2020. I mean,
But the point I'm just trying to make is
the,
that
the
when you
more
become
like I feel like the more you tell someone not to do something, right, the more that person is determined to do that thing. right? So I hope, as you said, like he has people around him that will help him, like just manage like his personal life, allow him focus on his ball and everything, and like just make good decisions. Like
Yeah, I can
if
never be someone who
if it's
feels.
ultimately a bad decision to be with her, like time will tell, right?
No, no, and it's not even about being with her. You made comments about you feeling bad of how she's getting bashed, and I'm saying like if you
Yeah.
decide to put yourself out there in a public forum, just as how we are right now, putting ourselves out there in a public forum, if people turn around and start saying to me that what I'm saying is shit, and because of that, people are even interested to figure out how they can paint me in a negative light, so they start doing research about me.
Hmm.
I'm also culpable for I'm responsible for that by deciding to build this platform, make my views public and well known. I am also responsible for that. So it's a two
Yes.
side of things. You can't be famous and feel like you want to just have a personal life. It doesn't work that way. Everybody cannot have both options. You have to choose one or the other. So yes, I can, as a human being, I don't want anybody to be abused or treated negatively. But if you're doing things that people feel ill towards, then those comments are fair enough because you did them and you decided to put yourself in a public light.
Well, good point. Good point. I think that's a good place to just leave it. More positive note, like see how fresh this girl was looking now. Come on, so fly,
Yeah, but she
so
couldn't
fly.
stand up to come and
Looking
congratulate him.
looking like a Heisman winner,
Deion Sanders had to literally lift her up. Like, come on, bro. There
He
definitely
just he
some
just nudged her now. Come on. Well, it's
there
fine, it's
de-
fine,
definitely
it's
some
fine.
suspect things out there. And the guy is
But
an
yeah,
innocent guy. He's an innocent guy.
okay. Yeah. So college football playoff, first time with the 12 teams. First time with 12 teams in the college football playoff. We'll be starting. The first game is this Friday, 28th, and yeah, we'll be keeping our listeners updated on everything going on in the college football playoffs. And yeah, uh, we said we had a special guest
Scott, let
today.
me do it. What are you doing? This is my segment, bro. Molly,
Please
sit in your seat.
do the
What's
intros. Do the intros. Do the
so
intros.
yeah, like the college football season is wrapping up. It's coming to an end. NFL also start progressing, so we have to shift focus to the NBA and start getting you some more insight and better knowledge on what is going on. So we decided to get our own Brian Winhurst, our own insider.
Yes,
Um,
so
so he's someone who again recently moved to the States, has gotten really into basketball, and is an OKC fan. And he's just here to shed some light insights on what he's been noticing about basketball overall. And I mean, if you guys enjoy him, we'll definitely run him back as a as an insider whenever you need some more knowledge on basketball. But yeah, nice to introduce our guy Femi,
Hey, how's it going,
Femi
guys?
Rex.
How's it going, Yimika?
NBA
How's it going, Shay? I was
NBA
listening to your
inside
NFL
guy.
segment, NFL and college football segment, and it's nice to I guess get insights into American football and like college football because honestly, I have no idea what's happening in that side of the world, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I
But
mean
yeah,
that,
happy
that
to
that's
be
what
here.
that's what we try to do. That's what we try
Yeah,
to do with the show.
Yeah, bring
yeah,
people,
happy to be
educate
here with you
people.
guys.
Yeah, as an insider, bro, we're gonna make sure you bring some good insight, some good tea, some select information, and it has to be 100% accurate. We can't run
Yeah,
we can't run a
we,
segment
we
just
can't
saying
we can't be getting
that.
sued, bro. We don't have money like that, please.
Can't
We
have
can't
this
be getting
episode where we're
sued.
just trying to prove that what you said the last time was actually accurate.
No problem at all.
But
Yeah.
yeah, should you kick us off now?
Yeah, NBA Cup action. The semifinals kicked off in Vegas. Um, yeah. So in the East on Saturday, Milwaukee Bucks against the Atlanta Hawks. Um, yeah, Yimika, do you want to
Nah,
you
bro,
want to
you skipped ahead because the last time we showed this view, we only had the
Mhm.
quarterfinals. So we've had I
Oh
guess
really?
four or five tranches, six, no, six tranches of games getting being played.
Yeah,
Initially,
yeah,
I had
yeah.
predicted the Magic's winning against the
Yes.
Bucks, but again, I forgot that Pablo Banquero was out hurt, so it was a tight game. But the Bucks went ahead and won that. I predicted the Hawks to beat the Knicks, so that one I was certified on. I initially predicted the Warriors to beat the Rockets.
You fell on
That
your face.
again, I cut L on. OKC with against the Mavericks. I predicted OKC to win. Um, and then again, I had predicted the Warriors to make it to the finals, so that was another L that I caught. And I predicted the Hawks to make it to the finals, so that was another L I caught. So
Yeah,
as
that's
of
why you
right
have to
now,
Wow.
bring Femi. That's because
You have L,
can't really trust your takes.
you have L's everywhere, and I'm
You
I
can't
disappointed
said
really
that
trust your takes.
you didn't think OKC was going to get to the final. But I mean, I can kind of support it given how technically OKC played against the Mavs in the playoffs. But then I think one thing you should realize is that in that time, the Mavs are putting Isaiah Hart, who has been phenomenal since he came back from injury, after missing like earlier games of the season. But yeah, I'll leave it to you guys to determine how we should proceed. But yes, I have a bone to pick with you, Yimika, for
no,
underrating
bro. Like if
the OKC.
Can't wait, can't wait, can't wait, can't wait. Let Yimika just quickly take us through this Bucks and Hawks game.
yeah, so
So
obviously again the Bucks playing the Hawks. It was a little bit tighter of a game, but again the Bucks have been dominant. What's their assistant coach again? Damenham.
Davinham,
Davinham,
yeah,
Davinham.
Davenham, he has yet to
unbeaten,
lose an
unbeaten.
NBA Cup game. So I kind of forgot about that statistic, that variable. I didn't put it into my algorithm. So I definitely missed on that. Um, and yeah, the Rockets and the OKC, that one was a clear blowout from OKC. The Rockets are playing really good this year, but obviously, like they cannot compete with OKC. I had
I
initially put
Go
the
ahead.
Warriors in there against OKC. So that's why I had the Warriors going to the final. So yeah.
Okay. I was going to quickly jump in like a point on the Rockets. Actually, the Rockets and Golden State was a very, very close match. I actually didn't expect Rockets to also beat Golden State Warriors to be fair, but I mean, they got through it. But in terms of like the matchup with OKC, I think it's closer than the box score says because like for a good chunk of
Yes,
like the first
yes.
half,
The first
Rockets
half, I
were
think first half ended by like a point.
Rockets, yeah, Rockets were much more active. I think the problem is that they spread the ball more and they didn't have like a standout let's say player per se. Even though
Mm.
they made more features than OKC.
Not
But
even
like
Jalen Green.
if you yeah, it was a it was a share the ball type of way for them. In that case, it meant something was like the highest points person with 19 points. Jalen Green had 12, really. So like it wasn't a standout game from him or anybody per se, aside from the man. What I was going to say was if you remember the earlier match they played in Houston, Rockets versus OKC. That was also very close. So I was a bit worried about it because Rockets are a very good defensive team.
Yeah.
So much so as OKC is.
Just like
Um,
OKC.
yeah, but then the difference
But
between
one has
them technically
SGA.
was SGA. Yes, one has SGA, the other guys don't. And that was like, in my opinion, what the difference was. So like XGA was basically a plus 16, just being in just every time he was on the court. So like he added so much more offensively for them, and he had like 14 or 15 free throws, which is airy, but yes, like he literally almost handed Rockets in the paint, and like they were just having troubles stopping him from getting the free throw or getting to his place. And he didn't have a good scoring night, but like he had a good night from the free throw line. So yeah, I think that was more a worry for OKC than I would think Dallas was, but surprisingly, in my opinion. But yeah,
So
I'm happy that we're in
Femi,
finals. Yeah, go ahead.
just a question though, because I was talking to Shea about this and saying that, in my own opinion, I mean, one of the things that we did where we compared who we thought was the best player, and I had listed Giannis as who I would build a franchise around. High level numbers. Guy has not yet had a game this season where he shot under 50% from goal. He's shooting
Mhm.
about 60% and has like about 34 points per game. Other than Giannis, I got I got a lot of feedback saying that Jokic and um, Jokic and Luka Doncic are actually better
Doncic, yeah.
players to start a franchise with. Jokic, I can maybe concede, but Luka, I've always been of the opinion where I think that SGA has progressively actually gotten better as a complete player than Luka. What is your take on that?
This is literally put me on the spot. And to be honest, I want to say I'm biased, but at the same time, I want to be as objective as possible. First
You
of
have
all,
to be objective. Insider. You can't show fandom.
Let me win
um,
host. Let me win host. You
I,
can't
I,
have
I,
bias.
I, I, I absolutely agree with Yanni's point. I think he's been something else. Like since he came into the league, and this season, like he's the leader in like points per game, and like the second in points overall. But like the in Jokic's correct, don't cheat. I don't necessarily agree that he's not a player you can build a franchise around. I think you can build a franchise around him. He just needs I don't know the word to use, but like if you compare him and SGA and like the setup between OKC and Dallas, SGA is a more, in the sense of complete player, he's just a better, in my opinion, overall um, mood for the locker room, in my opinion. Like he helps, even though he's the standard star, you don't necessarily feel like he lords it over the team when they play. You can sense that they respect that he's good. At the same time, they respect the fact that he welcomes them as team players and knows that they can do what they need to do when they need to do it. And when he needs to step up, he steps up. While the way I see Doncic is, while he's great on the court, like he's a great point guard, like he plays the floor and makes plays. Sometimes he feels like he could be overbearing in the team, and it causes them sometimes to affect their overall productivity. That's how I say it. But like I disagree that he's actually a very good player that can play the franchise around. But
Fair
in
enough.
terms
Fair
of
enough.
choosing, I would
Fair
choose
enough.
SGA. Yeah, because obviously it's
So
obvious that I
just
prefer
sorry,
SGA
Shizu,
to
one
him.
last question. Just last
Okay.
take from my insider. Simple
Okay. Okay.
yes no situation. Femi
Yeah.
Winhouse. If I put Luka on OKC last season,
Uh-huh.
do they win the championship?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Although the variation of that question is if
We
SJ
we
was
we
on
want to we
if
want to
SJ
hear
was
your
in the Mavs,
comments. Yes.
if SJ was on the Mavs, I think the on the Mavs should have won.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to say.
He
I
threw it
think the
back at
Mavs should have
me.
yeah.
Drop your comments, guys. Drop your comments. Like drop
I
your
think the
comments
Mavs should have won.
when you get to this part, please. Like we are very
Okay.
interested in your comments and knowing your thoughts. But yes, if I let these NBA guys continue, we will not have time again. So just quick final preview, guys. Quick final preview. Um, I want to start with
Yimika, do you want to
insider. No,
no
insider is
start?
starting. No, insider, you must
uh
start. Oh. You must start.
so my take in this match, I think I talked to you guys, I guess, before we had this segment, was this match is either, in my opinion, a blowout from OKC or a very tight match which Bucks might end up winning. And the reason why I say so is because Giannis and the Bucks have more like more in the moments type championship experience than the OKC team. So like if it's a very close game, Giannis and Cole close it out this year. But like if Thunder like they're number one team defensively, they're also the leaders in steals, and they have like three Jason Wallace, SGA, Jason Jalen Williams are like the top 10 in steals. If they all come together defensively and their shooters are actively like on form from the get-go, I think they will beat the Bucks in the throughout. But if it's anywhere close, I think the Bucks might just steal it.
Okay.
Okay, that's a good take. Good take. Win horse. Fem win. But sorry,
Yimika, what do
I
you
have
think?
to I have to redo my logic where I started betting against Davenham. The only reason why I'm honestly taking them is one thing. What's that? Your center again? Why am I blanking on his name? That's hurt.
Isaiah Hart.
No, Holgram.
Oh,
Holgram.
Chet
Chet,
Holmgren is not
Chet
around. Yeah,
Holgram
Holmgren.
is not
Chet
here.
Yeah,
is.
So
Holmgren.
that's the only person that I really can see. And I know Jalen Williams is really good, like defensively, and he's usually used to guarding taller guys. But Giannis is a different type of athleticism. He's not going to
Yeah,
shoot.
so
He's going to the paint, and we know how that happens. Once Giannis starts dunking and he's screaming and yelling, it's over. It's over. So my take is Milwaukee, like you said, narrow win, but still the W nonetheless.
uh, I guess just before I guess move on from that is I do see your point, and to be honest, Giannis is probably the one that scares me the most, just because the only guy that can, I guess, match up to him in terms of like body size and like heights probably Isaiah Hart. But like when he's off the floor, he's going to like just off the floor. Most of the Milwaukee guys are sort of taller than my OKC guys in terms of like wingspan and all of that. But like as you know, OKC is very comfortable even when the small guys are on the floor and when the bigger guys are on the floor. So I guess it would be a thing of how um, Dagnall decides to do these defensive tactics against Giannis and Dame and like and Chris Middleton and the other guys. Because as a team, Milwaukee Bucks are the highest in like 3-point shooting. Their percentages are very high. So if you give them room to get hot, they'll be very good. At the same time, you don't want them to do that. At the same time, you don't want Giannis to be very comfortable in the thing. So it's how he attacks those two
You're
sides that
arguing
that's
against your
very
team. You're saying too many good
yeah.
things about OKC right now. I mean, about Milwaukee. I
No, no,
don't know
no.
how
So
OKC is going to
yeah,
deal with it.
so like
But you know what?
is
It,
the same
it,
way. It's the same way. So OKC have great shooters. Like I said, if they come out the gates flying, they're going to blow out Milwaukee because defensively they're a great team. They're active hands. They'll steal the ball. They ensure they get the
Mo,
fast
we,
break
we know
points
we
quick
know
and
you
dirty.
know the insides
So
of how they play, but I'm just saying, if your OKC boys don't win, trust I believe your credibility has reduced. Reduced.
Okay, guys. So
okay,
Femi is going with OKC. Yimika is going with
yes, I'm definitely going
Milwaukee.
with
Tough, but I'll just go with OKC because SJ is Canadian. That's no other
Fair
reason.
enough.
I like both teams to be fair. I can't really pick. I'll just pick OKC because SG, and that's it. Yes, it's a good place to wrap up on NBA and move on to the past weekend of Premier League action. Um,
Premier League action.
yeah,
United.
Arsenal played out nil-nil against Everton. Liverpool, Fulham 2-2. Newcastle twacked Leicester 4-0, handing Ruud van Nistelrooy a very, very, very heavy wake-up call. Ipswich beat Wolves 2-1. Um, Forest played out a 2-1 win against Aston Villa. Brighton lost 3-1 against Crystal Palace. Manchester United beat City 2-1. Chelsea beat Brentford 2-1. Southampton lost 5-0 to Spurs, resulting in the sacking of their manager. And yeah, Bournemouth versus West Ham is probably happening as we are recording this right now.
Didn't Wolves also
Um,
fire their manager? I think.
yeah, I think they did. I think they did as
Yeah.
well. I think they did as well.
To start their
But
manager recently. Yeah.
yeah, I think good place to start would be with Yimika's Arsenal.
Mimica's boys.
So Yimika, you the
Yeah,
first.
I'm no longer confident about Arsenal being a title contender. It's the high level summary of this. And it's just very simple. I
I
think I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube talking
Mm-hmm.
about Arsenal's attack. Just very simple. If Arsenal was going to continue playing Kai as the number nine, they needed to get a winger. And you could tell like they wanted a winger, which is why we went to go and get poor man Raheem Sterling from Chelsea's crumbs. That is obviously not good enough. Martinelli is not good enough. He hasn't progressed since he broke into the team. Trossard is a good backup, but he's certainly not a starting winger for a championship contending team. So again, Arsenal has bottled the opportunity to win a title just based on their decisions over the summer. That's it.
Mm. Femi, you want to chime in?
no, I, Mimica's covered it. I have nothing to add.
I mean, like I look at the table and I just say all hope is not lost. But I get Yimika's point, and
This is not that
I
kind
know
of
a lot of
situation.
Arsenal fans feel the same way. So you watch the team more than myself, obviously. So I'm sure like you are right, but I don't know. I feel like this season nobody has really like completely separated themselves yet to call a winner. But
Which
yeah,
is
um,
which is disappointing because go ahead.
No, I think that's actually what has made this season a little bit better. Realistically, like some team like Chelsea, nobody would have thought at this time would be second based on how they started. So it's good for the Premier League as a competition, but it's not great for me personally as an Arsenal fan coming into this season thinking um, it was going to be finally our time. So yeah,
mm, fair enough. I think Femi is having some technical issues right now. So when he's back, I guess we'll just get his additional thoughts. But unfortunately, it's happening when we're talking about his team. But Liverpool played out the 2-2 draw against Fulham. Um, yeah,
I think
Fulham
it
are
was a
not.
good performance from Liverpool, especially since they had a red card early in the
Yes.
first half. I think the 22nd minute definitely showed some type of stick to itiveness, perseverance, the ability to win a title. Those qualities. I think Jota came on like the 80th and scored in the 88th or something like that. So yeah, they're doing a lot better than anyone would have thought. Especially again, since they didn't really reinforce their midfield as much. Gravenbach has really been a revelation. And yeah, they seem to lock in or trying to lock in all their major players. So your Van Dijk, your Trent, and your Salah are all looking to get new deals. See how that works out for them.
Yeah. I agree with you. Really, I didn't think they played badly. Like you wouldn't have even known that they had a red card the way the game was looking. To be fair, because that's the game I watched. So I didn't watch Arsenal. Um, but yeah, hopefully they are able to pick it up.
Let's get
Um,
to your own big
Ruben Amorim to Pep Guardiola nil. So this season, Ruben Amorim has beaten Pep Guardiola twice in their two meetings. Um,
Wait,
but I
have we
think we
played
have.
yes?
Sorry,
Have we
what
played
is it?
Arsenal Manu? Have we played?
Yes, now you beat us now. Have you
Oh,
forgotten?
okay.
2-0.
Okay.
Let's just quickly go back to get Femi's thoughts on his 2-2 draw against Fulham.
I'm disappointed in my team, considering that we've had two chances to extend the lead to like 15 points, but over 1-9 over Arsenal anyway. But it seems nobody wants to take the initiative apart from Chelsea. But I think it was an unfortunate draw because the match seemed winnable, and then we had Robertson get the red card necessarily, in my opinion, early on, which kind of tweaked the game against us. But like I think one thing that was important was the way and slot adapted to like the 3-3-2 formation immediately after the red card and sort of made the match more straightforward, um, or at least more bearable, which I guess ended up getting us to draw. So I think, as far as I know, we should be better in the next game. Um, so I don't see us having too many issues, but we need to cut out some like mistakes that have cost us in the last two games now 4 points. But yeah,
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Femi. So Pep has now lost twice against Amorim. Amorim beat him at Sporting and now Manchester United. And as I said at the beginning of the video, my attire today is in honor of my boy Amad
He's
Diallo.
not your boy. He's my boy. He's my boy.
Please, Oga, stick to
He's my
Saka.
boy.
Stick to Saka. Stick
He's
to
my boy.
Bukayo.
You
Stop
didn't
that
know anything
rubbish.
about him. You were
Ace,
saying Ganacho, 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 Ganacho,
Ace,
Ganacho.
Ace,
You're one of those
Ace,
Ganacho guys. Bro, even
Ace.
when ETH was
Ganacho
there,
is still my boy. Ganacho
I
is
was
still my
always
boy.
complaining
They
about
play
I
for
don't get
United.
how Ahmad is not playing. I don't get how Ahmad is not playing. Your best player consistently doesn't play.
Hey, hey, hey,
that's
hey,
because they had
hey.
ETH. Now they have a coach that
Now we
at
have
least knows.
Amorim.
They
Amorim
they have a
clearly
coach that
has.
knows his
And
value.
suddenly he's your guy.
Anyway,
Suddenly he's your guy.
Rashford and Garnacho. We'll get to Rashford and Garnacho. But yeah, like overall, I'm just happy. I'm happy Man U was able to capitalize on City's bad run of form. Like in the past, City can lose 10 games in a row. When they face Man U at Etihad, they will win. Right. So we're happy that streak has been snapped, and yeah, things are looking up. I'm not convinced that we are there yet. Obviously, we have another game against Spurs on Thursday, and I mean we'll see how that goes. But yeah, things seem to be heading in the right direction under the um, supervision of Ruben Amorim as head coach, and yeah, the structure that the Ineos guys are putting in place. We know they just fired Ashworth, but yeah.
Just on top one
Um,
game. Wow. Guys,
I
do you
think
remember how Shea was
wait.
shouting last weekend?
bro, like
I think it's
things
interesting
is
how the
is not is
dynamics
not
can
about
change.
the results. It's not about the results, right? It's not about the results. It's just like just seeing how like things are progressing. Like Man United had higher XG than City yesterday. Had a lot of possession. Like, I mean, not more than City. I think it was 52-48. But I mean, that's not that showed that we did not like totally surrender possession of the ball to City and just sit down in a low block, try to hit on the counter. Like they are actually trying to play on the front foot, right? Like
I,
that pass that Martinez made to Ahmad. Like I saw a couple of times in the game when he played that same pass, right, in behind. And yeah, so like point I'm making is like you're seeing like actual patterns, like seeing plays that's the like repeated actions, right, happening on the pitch is what I'm trying to see. It's not going to happen overnight, but it is good to see that like signs of progress. I'm not saying we're not going to lose to Spurs and we are back, but like it's just nice to see. It's
I
nice to
think
see.
I think I think I kind of agree with Shay, even if I'm not supposed to agree with the United fans, because they say a
That's
lot
your
of
Liverpool
rubbish.
business.
Um, but like to be fair, it would have actually been bad for United if they lost that game yesterday. Because in my opinion, the whole of the second half they outplayed City. City did not do anything the whole second half.
We need to ask the
And
refs now.
And
We
the
need to ask the
and
ref.
the way they set up the team was like they basically, in my opinion, neutralized City. Of course, City is in the bad run of form, so maybe that doesn't count. But like they did play better in the second half than City. Um, and then I think the 2-1 kind of almost vindicated Ruben Amorim that he made the right call. Um, and in retrospect, I think it actually was the right call. I just only disagree with the fact that we should have brought one of two of them, like the Rashford and Garnacho, to
Okay.
that to that
I guess we are
to
moving
put
to
on the
the
bench.
next subject then.
Yeah, because I think in his setup, he definitely needs a very good left winger, which Dalot did not really give because he couldn't like take on Walker or like progress the ball on that wing because there were a lot of times where he got the ball in favor, like in a lot of space and really couldn't do anything with it, which is why they relied a lot on Ahmad on the other side. So like if he had brought one of Rashford and Garnacho, I think that would have helped. At the same time, both of them have really not been on form. So I mean, he's the coach; he makes the decisions that he thinks is best for his team. So I don't disagree with it. You can continue making it as long as the
I don't
results
really
say so.
see it as a form-based decision. I think this is maybe the only point where I would say that your Amarin is doing good for the culture of Manchester United. There are set standards that he's put in place in terms of training and the overall seriousness of how they take being prepared for games. And
Mm-hmm.
he mentioned it, how they eat, how they train, their mentality, and if you don't do the necessary steps, it doesn't matter how talented you are in terms of the quality and skills that you have, but it's more about taking the steps to get you prepared to execute what he wants as a team. So his whole take was, I would rather play somebody who is less talented but has taken the steps so that my whole team will perform better. And that is what was vindicated. Ahmad is the template of somebody who internalizes those steps.
Yeah, I
We
agree.
mentioned it earlier. ETH
Yeah.
was, when he started the season, he was playing well. He got dropped. He didn't go on a rant and get upset. He just continued training. And the next coach that comes in sees him as a positive light. That's why he's been able to perform
Yeah,
as he did.
consistently gets 10. Like yeah, exactly. I agree with you on that.
Yes, and Ruben Amorim's quotes, right? It was not a disciplinary thing. We have to put the standard really high, and they have to fight for their place in the team, right? And he also said what you said, right? So, like the whole he watches everything, how you eat, how you engage with your teammates, like, and he sort of focused, like, he emphasized that, like, engaging with your teammates, right? And which is what led a lot of people to speculate about, their attitude, blah blah blah. Like, I mean, I don't know if you guys just sometimes hate watch Man U, right? But if you watched the game on Thursday, the Europa League game, like, Rashford was terrible. Like, and this is no shade. Like, this is not. I don't hate him. Like, it's just like he was bad, right? So if a coach drops a player for playing bad, I don't think that's something that should make a lot of headlines like
Headlines.
that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's Rashford, right? So people are going to talk. But I don't know. He has been empowered. He's using the power. Seems to be working out, and seems to be trying to implement the, like, positive, you know, culture, performance, like rewarding your performances, like both in training and on the pitch. And I hope he continues. Right. He's not the first manager to drop Rashford, but we know how that always goes in the end, right? So we'll see if this time is any different. As I said, I'm not getting carried away. I'm not under any illusions. Well, yeah, I think this is a good place to wrap up the segment and the episode. Thank you, Femi, for
Thank you guys.
spending time
Femi
bantering.
Windhorst. Why you not calling his full name? Bro, all this your Liverpool talk. We didn't
Femi
bring you here for
Windhorst.
that. NBA insider.
Like, so
Thank you
yeah,
guys for
like,
having me.
and yeah, to the audience, like, listening, just keep keep listening, keep dropping your comments. We'll continue to bring the content every Monday unfailingly. And yeah, have a great week, everyone.
Thank
And
you.
have a great week, guys.